Today, we're diving deep into the chaos and music of Woodstock 99. Get ready for a roller coaster of emotions as we revisit this unforgettable event from the summer of 1999. Picture this: the summer sun is beating down, the sound of music is reverberating through the air, and thousands of eager souls converging upon Griffiths Air Force Base in Rome, New York. That was Woodstock 99. A weekend filled with promise, excitement, and ultimately chaos. As I stepped onto the festival grounds, I was overcome with a sense of awe and wonder. Everywhere I looked, there were smiling faces, makeshift campsites, and the unmistakable buzz of anticipation. It felt like I was a part of something truly special, a modern-day pilgrimage to the Mecca of music. But as the days wore on, that sense of camaraderie began to fray at the edges. The heat was unbearable. Resources were scarce, and tensions were starting to run high. I watched as the once thriving community descended into chaos. On Sunday night, after the Red Hot Chili Peppers were done playing, that's when all chaos broke loose. During the Chili Peppers set, lots of fires started. The sound speakers were on fire. The delay tower was on fire way in the back. The promoter guy, John Shear, came out on stage, stopped the show the Chili Peppers were playing. And he came out and he was like, hey, everybody, I need your attention. As some of you may have noticed, there's a delay tower in the back that is currently on fire. Now, nobody in the crowd had noticed that this delay tower is on fire because everybody was watching the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and this delay tower was like a half a mile back in the crowd, right? So nobody had really actually noticed until he came out and pointed it out, and then everybody just turned around and looked, and they went, oh, cool, look, there's a big fire over there. And it just drew the attention to the fact that this was going on. The chaos just erupted once the Chili Peppers came back on stage and played their Jimi Hendrix tribute song, Fire. And I tell you, there was probably a half a dozen fires before that song, and by the time the song ended, there were dozens and dozens of fires all over the Woodstock area. At that point, I started to make my way back to the camping area because I was concerned about the safety of my own belongings at that point, because the looting had begun and things were being set on fire all over the place, and I didn't know what was going on. As I made my way back towards that camping area, as I passed through the vendor village, I could see that people were going underneath the tents, the vendor stalls, and they were starting to steal stuff. They were looting stuff out from the vendor tents, and they were just carrying away boxes of shirts or whatever they had found inside these vendor tents. And it was like everything was free all of a sudden. You know, the concert's over, we're just gonna burn it down, and we're gonna steal everything, and we're just gonna make the most out of this. And chaos erupted. When it came to the looting, it started small. A few isolated incidents here and there. But as the rioting intensified, so too did the looting. I saw people breaking into vendors' tents, stealing merchandise, and wreaking havoc wherever they went. It was like watching a nightmare unfold before my very eyes. It's difficult to put into words just how surreal and terrifying it was to watch Woodstock 99 descend and devolve into utter madness. The spirit of peace and love that defined the original Woodstock seemed like a distant memory, replaced by a sense of lawlessness and desperation. Looking back now, it's clear that Woodstock 99 was a perfect storm of factors. The oppressive heat, the overcrowded conditions, the unchecked aggressions simmering beneath the surface. But amidst the chaos, there were also moments of humanity that shone through the darkness. In the aftermath of the riots and looting, there was a collective reckoning. We were forced to confront the darker aspects of human nature, our capacity for violence, greed, and destruction. But amidst the rubble, there were also glimmers of hope, acts of kindness, solidarity, and resilience that remind us of the power of community. Now, once I was back in the camping area, I had mentioned before in one of my other stories that I just stayed by my tent, watching over mine and my friends' stuff, making sure everything was safe. And I just saw people just running around all over the camping area. Like they're just running back and forth. And like there was obviously like chaos going on, even in the camping area, which was far, far away from the main stage where the majority of the fires were at this point. I noticed they were carrying a lot of camping gear, like sleeping bags and tents and stuff like that. And I became aware that there was an Ace Hardware tent set up nearby that was selling merchandise for the weekend that I didn't actually see because it was the opposite direction from where I was camping from the actual main stage area. So I didn't see the actual Ace Hardware store or the Ace Hardware transport trailers that eventually got broken into. So these people were running around back and forth with all the stuff that they were looting out of these Ace Hardware trailers. And they'd come running past me through this camping area, carrying all their looted merchandise, dropping it into big piles, and then running back to go and get more. And I was just like, what's going on here? Like this is like utter mayhem at this point. But my curiosity got the best of me, so I had to wander over and start looking at some of these piles that were forming in the camping area of this looted merchandise. As these people ran away to go and look for more stuff, I just kind of walked over to their pile and started looking through it. And yeah, it was all like tents and sleeping bags and different things that Ace Hardware would sell. But the one thing that did catch my eye was the big bag of glow sticks. So at that point, I might have acquired one of these bags of glow sticks that I found laying on the ground in the camping area. If you watched my first video, you would have seen when I cracked this glow stick on camera 24 years after the fact, and it actually lit up and still glowed, and that kind of just blew my mind at that point. Here goes nothing. Oh my God. Do you believe that? I honestly cannot believe that. I am in shock and disbelief right now. So as all this chaos is unfolding and that, I got all my stuff packed up. As my friends all made it back to the camping area, we got the remainder of our things all packed up. And we headed back out to the car. And at that point, as we were going from the camping area back to the main gate, you could see the cordon line of all these state troopers that had pushed everybody from the one side of the festival grounds all the way over to the other side to the camping area so that, they could get everybody away from all these fires and all these transport trailers that were on fire down near the main stage and vendor area. So as I'm walking out with these giant packs of my tent and all my belongings and all this stuff, these police don't know what's in my giant pack that I'm carrying. I could have all this looted merchandise, which I didn't, but I could have, right? And I'm walking past like hundreds of state troopers, and I'm from Canada. I don't want to get in trouble in the States. And I'm just thinking, holy crap, like somebody's gonna probably stop me and want to look in my belongings and that to see if I'm stealing anything or... Nope, didn't get stopped at all. Just walked past the row of hundreds and hundreds of state troopers. Nobody stopped me. Nobody asked me any questions. At that point, I think they were just happy to see people leaving the site, and they just wanted to keep things under control for the most part. So here's to Woodstock 99, a bittersweet chapter in the book of music history. Despite the riots and looting, there's still something undeniably magical about those 3 days in July of 1999. It's a reminder that even in our darkest moments, music has the power to unite us, to transcend barriers, and to bring us together in ways we never thought possible. Thanks for joining me in this journey back in time to Woodstock 99. If you were there, I would love to hear your own stories and reflections in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and hit that subscribe button for more content like this. Until next time, peace, love, and rock and roll.